some colors. How do you even know which one to send down? You said you have a favorite one.
That's a funny question because everybody asks which color is the best, right? From what I read on the internet, squid is colorblind.
Okay, it's a people thing.
Yeah, so the color is to catch people, not the squid. So what's important with the jig is it's the shape of the jig and the action it makes when it goes down the water and when you're jigging. And also what makes a big difference is
Welcome to the Fishing for a Reason podcast, you guys. I am fired up for this week's guest. Joe Kim has agreed to come on to the show and teach us about squid fishing. And if I'm truly honest, this is a selfish thing that I want to learn. So I'm like, I need a squid person. And actually, one of our community members, Bill, pointed me to Joe's group. I hopped into his Facebook group, and holy moly, there is a ton of gold in there. So if you're not aware, Edmonds Squid Fishing is the community you want to search for and hop into. There's like 10,000 people. You'll find it, but there's a ton of good information in there. And Joe was so kind to hop on and be willing to be interviewed by us today. So my name is Jamie.
And I'm Scott.
And we're going to dive right in. But first of all, Joe, can you take us back? How did you get into squid fishing? What brought you to this sport?
Yeah, I actually started fishing about 10 years ago. I was busy raising kids, family, and stuff like that. And one of the days, my mom used to go squid fishing.
Really?
And yeah, she's 78 right now, but she used to go squid fishing. I'm like, Mom, why are you out there in the cold, freezing your butt off, and you're just catching a few of these things? And one day she actually invited me to come with her. And 10 years ago, it was a really good season. And I just had a blast and I just fell in love with it.
How did she get into it?
I have no idea. I'm sure, her and her friends just got together and they just wanted to go have fun at nighttime or what, and staying out of trouble, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. So have you taught your kids to squid fish yet?
I did when they were younger, but now that they're teenagers and on to college, they don't want to play with me anymore.
Yeah. Well, awesome. What hooked you on this specific sport? I mean, you started a Facebook group. You now make jigs and sell jigs. What hooked you on squidding out of all the other different kinds of fishing specifically?
Well, I do all sorts of fishing, but squid fishing is what got me started. What got me hooked is the action.
Okay.
I prefer a lot of action. So I've been on a boat trolling for salmon and stuff like that. It's okay, but there's not a lot of action. You're playing with the downrigger, you're driving, you're looking at the sonar, figuring out what the fish is and what they're biting. But squidding, what's perfect was that I just put the kids to sleep. It's dark. I'm 6-7 minutes from the pier, and I'm right there, and I'm just go fishing for a couple of hours, and there's always action. Even though you don't catch much, you always have to consistently jig and cast, so it keeps you busy.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
There's so many people that, we take out fishing and a lot of them say fishing's boring. Why do you like fishing so much? But interesting, maybe squidding is the perfect gateway sport into fishing, especially if there's a lot of action.
It's easy, right? So you don't need a lot of gears. I'm sure we'll get into that later, but it's cheaper compared to other fishing. You don't have to go far, and there's always action throughout the whole year.
And they're delicious.
Yes.
So there's that part too.
Everyone loves them.
And so you started a Facebook community.
I did.
Tell me what inspired you to do that.
Well, it was not really to inspire. I mean, nothing inspired me to do it, but because I go often to the pier, so you make friends, right? So what happened was people know that I go often to fish because it's convenient for me. So they would message me, like hundreds of people would message me saying, hey, how was squidding? Is it doing well? Is it that time to go out? How's the weather? Stuff like that. So I kind of got sick of answering hundreds of messages a day, right? So I said, hey, I'm just going to create a group. Just go over there and look up my information so you don't need to, not that I'm being a jerk, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's what's got it started. Yeah.
I love it. So really a need to not be bombarded constantly with messages and really get the reach out. And so did it just organically grow itself?
Yes, it did. So
Okay.
first year, I mean, it was empty, right? It's just me, a bunch of friends, and then there was only a few hundred of us, right? So that's what it started, and then more and more people started asking about information such as techniques, when to do it, equipment, and stuff like that. So I started posting content in there, and then other people I fish often with over there, they help me out, right? So they put information in there with me, and basically we're trying to have fun.
Hmm.
So we're trying to have fun, put information in there, maybe to inspire people, to go out there and encourage people, and also, try to entertain people because we're out there. Some people are there hardcore, they want to catch their limit, like it's life and death. But most of us just out there hanging out, just having fun, teasing each other, and if they don't catch much, we tease them all night, stuff.
I love that. Yeah, it looks like it's over to 10,000 now. That's
It
quite
is.
a community.
Yeah, I think it's from because a lot of the groups you join, there isn't much content and information out there. So I think what we provided was value. So
Mhm.
people will go in there. A lot of people have told me that, I look at that thing every day, see if it's good, what you guys are doing, what you guys are catching and stuff like that. So I get a lot of good positive feedback, but I think it just has information and value that they're willing to go in there and take a look.
Yep.
Cool.
And it's hard when you get started. Like, where do you go to figure these things out, especially if you're not from the area? So I'd love to know from you, how did you learn? Like, you went out with your mom, but
Yeah.
then what? How did you get
Yes.
good at it?
So I learned, yeah, obviously, my mom taught me the basics, right? And she's okay. So she didn't really teach me properly, right? So I had to figure out, hey, the rod that I'm using, it wasn't right fit for me. It wasn't doing well. So I had to kind of experiment myself, right?
Mhm.
So I had to do that. And then also I have other fishing friends. They've fished a lot longer than I have, right? So I got information from them, and it's really through experience too, right? So once you do it over and over, something has to kick, right? So
You
yeah,
sure hope so.
yeah,
Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. So if someone's a brand new beginner like us and they want to get started, what would you tell someone to do? Like, well, we'll ask Jack's question. Actually, we're gonna scroll down to Soul. Soul asked this question: what's the setup you need to get started, and where do you buy these things?
Oh, so easiest thing is in my group, there is a feature section, right? And within the feature section, I have a post has all the equipment list. All the
Perfect.
equipment you need. I mean, some of them are overkill. I mean, you don't need a light and generator. You could always go out there and there's always, other people's light and stuff like that. But if you want your own equipment, it's got all the equipment lists on there. So, number one, you're gonna need a pole, right? So what I recommend is a medium to medium light, like a trout rod, trout rod, right? You want it fast action. So a lot of people make mistake of bringing slow action. And
Mhm.
what happens is when you jig up and down, when you jig, the jig doesn't come up right away because it's slow action. And by the time your jig jigs, the squid comes off, right? So you want a fast action. When you jig, the jig comes up right away. Yeah. And obviously if you go lighter equipment, you'll get more sensitivity.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And how long of a rod should you look for?
Everybody's different. I use a 7 feet rod. If you're more experienced, I've seen people use longer rods, but if you're not experienced, longer rods are harder to operate, obviously, right? So I recommend 7 feet. I've seen people use, I used to use, 6 feet, but for me, it was a little bit shorter because you're on the pier, right? You're fishing off the pier, so you want to get a little bit out there. So 7 feet is perfect for me.
And then what kind
Cool.
of reel do you like?
So the reel, that's also important as well. You don't want a big reel because your balance of your rod will be off. And what I use is 3,000,
Okay.
but it's okay to use smaller size as 2,000. There's 2,500, obviously, right? And then I see people use small as 1,000 as well, but I use 3,000.
Cool. And we'll also we'll link to your featured post
Mm-hmm.
in the show notes for you guys. So if you want to see the full gear list, you can definitely go down there and
Yeah.
check.
Yeah. So obviously you need those. You need a fishing line. We recommend using mono. You could use braid. However, you're going to be fishing next to a lot of people. And as you know, when you're tangling with braid, you're scuffing up other people's mono, and then it's also hard to untangle as well. So mono, if you want to be friendly, you want to make friends, use mono.
We want to make friends.
Yeah. If you want to be yelled at, use braid, right? But some people do use braid, but they're usually more seasoned people, and they could, control their line better than, the non-seasoned people, right? So beginners, right? Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of mono?
Is it like 10-pound test, or how big?
So I use 10-pound test. Some people use maybe 12 or 15, but those, as you get bigger, it gets more stiff, right? So you lose sensitivity. So I would recommend using 10 pounds. Some people use light as 6 pounds. Yeah. So go light as possible.
Okay.
But 10 pounds I find it to be perfect for me. Cool. And then you want to get a line that is high vis, because it's dark, and when you have the floodlights going, you could actually see the line, so other people could see your line, so they don't tangle your line, right? Yeah. So when you get those fluorocarbon where it's kind of invisible, and people can't see it, and you're gonna have a lot of trouble with other people. So make your life easier.
So paint me a picture, especially because this is an audio podcast. We do have a video as well, but if someone goes to the Edmonds Pier, what are they actually going to see? What does this look like? Do they go halfway down the pier, all the way to the end of the pier? What is it?
It depends on the season. So right now, it's not the peak season. It's starting to pick up. So you'll see more and more people. But when we're fishing in June, where usually nobody really fishes in June, you'll see maybe, 5 people scatter here, 10 people scattered there. Not many people. So for example, last night we had about probably 50 to 70 people on the pier.
Oh, wow.
Which is not a lot, by the way.
Oh, we're like, oh, that's a lot.
It's nothing, but it will fill up the pier a little bit, right? But when the peak season comes in October, November, and December, when the word gets out, it's gonna be shoulder to shoulder from the end of the pier.
Okay.
Wow. During COVID, when it was really, really good, and people had nothing else to do because it's COVID, the pier was wrapped around front and back.
Wow.
Shoulder to shoulder. You couldn't even walk past anything. Yeah. So that's you'll expect a lot of people like that. Yeah.
Wow.
So go ahead.
No, I'm just amazed that there's that many people out there doing it. And then do you have also boats that are out there? Like you got people on the pier, and then are there people on boats like just off the pier in the same location?
Correct. So last night there was one boat out there. So it's not uncommon to see boats out there. They do it at nighttime because they think, darkness and light will bring them in, which is true. But if you have a boat, you want to go during daytime. I mean, there's no need for you to go out in the nighttime and be miserable, right? So what you got to do is on a boat, all you have to do is go look for them with your sonar around 100 to 120 feet depth. That's where they are during the daytime.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll see boats out there. Certain areas like Seattle, downtown, and south in Federal area, Des Moines area, you'll see way more boats down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, you talked about off the pier there in Edmonds. If you have a boat, you can go find them. How about like coming into Puget Sound, and it sounds like they come in October, November, December, kind of wintertime. What kind of, is there a certain structure you would look for, or would you simply look for them suspended in the column during the day?
Oh, you mean off the boat, right?
Yeah, off the boat.
Yeah, I don't have a picture of the sonar, but you'll see thick, how like you have a herring ball?
Yeah.
Kind of similar to it, but you'll see, more longer, definite lines.
Oh, okay.
You'll see them out there. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. Like, so we were down there this week, and there's like a band of something, probably 175 to 225 foot deep. We don't know what it is. Obviously you can't see it. It's just a return. Is there a chance that there's squid coming through this early, that much? Yeah,
we don't fish off the boat. We don't fish that deep. Yeah. So I can tell you for sure if those are squid or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me dig up a screenshot of what it looks like on a boat.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just cut that into the video. That'd be awesome if you don't mind. So if you're jigging off the pier, how deep are you dropping your jig?
What's the depth? Yeah, the water.
Oh, so Edmonds Pier is about 40 feet from where you're standing.
Okay.
So they actually repaired the Edmonds Pier about 7 years ago. They actually shut it down. So I live in the city of Edmonds, and I found that because it's a public work, that they have to actually post the job on their website. And they actually posted the architectural drawing of the pier.
Huh.
So I was reading it, and from where you're standing, the cement column where the people are standing, to the bottom, north end is about 41 to 42 feet, and the south end is about 45 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
And
it's not too deep. It's deep, but
Yeah.
not too deep.
okay. And are you going to the bottom?
Oh, so that's a very good question. So during the summertime, when what we call summer squid, they're smaller, right? Versus the winter squid, they're much bigger. We tend to catch them on the middle column, about 30 feet deep. Yeah. So, but because they could be anywhere from surface to middle to bottom, but usually during the summertime, they're in the middle area the most. Yeah. And during the winter time, they're going to be at the bottom because they are mating and laying eggs down there.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So people will fish much deeper later in the season than right now.
So we started talking about rod setup. You've
Mhm.
got your 10-pound mono. Are you just tying directly to the jig?
Correct.
Okay.
So some people use swivels, but we've actually had this discussion because some of the swivels will pop open and they will lose their jig. So
Yeah.
I don't use swivel. So I discourage people of using swivel, but some people does use swivel because they want to switch out their jig here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've used the same jig since 7 years ago, so I don't like to switch out much.
So I messaged you as soon as I found out you sell squid jigs. I was like, ooh, send me your favorite ones. And so I have a variety right here. And we'll make sure to link in the show notes if you guys want to get some squid jigs. What makes you like, why some colors? How do you even know which one to send down? You said you have a favorite one. So
that's a funny question because everybody asks which color is the best, right?
yeah.
From what I read on the internet, squid is colorblind.
Okay. It's a people thing.
Yeah. So the color is to catch people, not the squid.
This one caught me. I love this one.
So what's important with the jig is it's the shape of the jig and the action it makes when it goes down the water and when you're jigging. And also what makes a big difference is the glow. I don't know if you guys seen the glow yet. So everything, glow in the dark technology is basically you have to charge it with natural light or any light source, right? And then you can see it in the darkness. But what's important is the way it glows, you want a natural long glow. So that, I secretly, or I somehow, through research found the best way to make it glow like that. And then also, as you can see there, it's shiny and has a real nice clear coat on it. They tend to love that as well.
Cool.
And that's my favorite color right there. That's what I've been using for the past 7 years.
And do you have a UV light that you charge them up before you send them down?
Actually, I don't charge them because people have floodlights over there.
Yeah.
And just because we can't see them glow, it doesn't mean it's not glowing because it's bright. So I naturally just let it charge up from the light source that people use out there.
Yeah.
And as you're fishing, you'll keep recharging.
Yeah.
But some people carry UV lights or flashlights to charge them up.
Sure.
And what made you decide to start making these?
Oh, yeah. So my mom used to scam me and my brothers out of hundreds of dollars every year because she won squid jigs, right? And and I started fishing, and I'm looking at these things. I'm like, I could probably make it better. And my mom and her friends are complaining they're spending hundreds of dollars. So basically, I tried it, and it took me maybe 5 years to get to that point. I mean, there has been evolution and research, and my jig's gone better over time. But I did find it that I could make it much cheaper than what she was buying at, right? So I was actually doing it for myself, my mom, and her friends. And then people at the pier saw me with these jigs and being successful with it, and they wanted to also buy it off me. And then that's how I kind of started as selling it to my friends and etc. and stuff like that.
Cool.
So what improvements did you see as a need? And like, what did you do to make these a little bit different?
Well, in the beginning, the glow was good, but I didn't like the kind of the steady glow. Sometimes it was too bright or sometimes it was too dim. So I had to kind of find the right formula to it. And then also the coating of it. I want it like super, super, smooth like glass. So that took me a while to figure that out. And also sourcing the right hook, stuff like that. Yeah.
We had another question from somebody. So I made a post inside of your community and said, hey, anybody have questions for Joe? And so we had another question, and I think this would be a good time to go over it. When a squid hits, does a squid even hit? What is the difference in the way it feels between a fish and a squid?
Oh, that's okay. So it's not easy to feel the bite because they're so small, right? But you could definitely feel it. So as you get more practice and more experience and more sensitive equipment, like ultralight or, light, medium light equipment, etc., you could feel a slight bump on your line.
Okay.
Yeah. So as we progress into a better season this winter and we'll get the winter squid in, which are bigger, sometimes they'll torpedo the jig and you could definitely feel the line go sideways a little bit. Yeah. And that's when you want to jig up as soon as possible to hook them.
So you do kind of have to set the hook or set the jig.
Yeah, if you feel it. So we should talk about the technique to jig as well, right?
Yeah.
So before actually feeling the bite, I was teaching these a couple of days ago. What you want to do is you want to obviously properly cast, right? Cast out there. And what you got to do is whatever the depth you want, you got to let it sink, right? And then once it's at a depth you want, your line will be tight, straight line, right? And then from there, what you want to do is you want to do a short, quick jig. You don't want to do a baseball swing. So that's one of the mistakes I see people do is we're not catching salmon, right? So they're just doing a baseball swing. And what that does is the jig goes crazy.
Okay.
And you're scaring it off, actually, right? So what you want to do is you want to do a short, quick. And then what the jig does is goes up and then you'll flutter slowly. So you're just kind of teasing and enticing it. And you don't want to do it nonstop, which is another mistake I see, is, you don't want to keep jigging like this. What you want to do is you want to jig, let it flutter down, and then your line is straight. Wait 3 seconds. You got to give them a chance to bite. So sometimes it's a 3-second interval, 5 seconds. So you got to kind of switch it around. Because what squid does is when you have a jig, they'll come. When the bite is light, when they come, they'll tap in and they'll move out. That's why a lot of times people can't catch them because when they're tapping it and they're jigging up, you're too late, right? So you got to get that perfect
already moved
timing.
back out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's actually a video that shows the squid goes in and out in my group, what the jig action and what their behavior is. And if you see that and you can understand that, you'll definitely help you out when you're catching them.
Cool.
That's cool. Okay.
So when you're shoulder to shoulder with a whole bunch of people, is everybody equally catching squid kind of in the same consistency? Or is there one guy who's killing it and the other guy is not killing it? Do you know what the difference is between guys on the pier?
Yeah, so you see that often. So you'll see a lot of the experienced people will catch more than the other people. So what I talk to people about is a catch rate, right? So when there's this big school that comes in and there's squid everywhere, experienced people will catch at a faster pace than a new person. And even new person won't even catch anything, right? So because sometimes the bite is light. So when the bite is light, you need all the experience and skill you need. When the bite is heavy, everybody will catch. Now, are they catching at the same rate? Probably not, because they're not setting their hook. Like I mentioned, they're jigging too fast or they're swinging it too hard. And then also there's also an art of reeling it up and putting in your bucket and throwing it out there as fast as possible too. Yeah. So definitely it's not equal. Just because someone catches limits, the person next to him maybe catches half a pound or maybe a pound. That's it. Yeah.
So you said reeling it up. There's some mistakes you can make in that process too.
No, yes. So, I mean, just like every fishing, when you reel up,
Mm-hmm.
You want to keep the rod up, right? Because you want to use the rod's tension, let it bend, because there's no barb or anything. You're just a hook and you're in their skin, right? So you want to keep the tension up. And then what they do is while they're coming up, because they squeeze water out or ink, so they're just pumping themselves forward and backward, right? So when you don't have that tension, when they do that, they tend to come off. So I always tell people, put your rod, once you have a squid, put your rod up 45 degrees. You don't have to reel it fast, just constant reel, right? Just don't stop. Just make sure your rod you lose that tension.
And
but
how
that's
many
like
can
any
you keep?
fishing.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. How
Yeah.
many can you keep?
You could keep up to 10 pounds.
10 pounds.
That's a lot of squid.
Yes. During the wintertime when they're bigger, maybe 60 squid.
Okay.
I caught 10 pounds, not this Saturday, but the Saturday before. Probably about 200 squid because they're smaller.
Wow.
How do you know? So if I'm new, how can I gauge that 10-pound range? How are you making sure to be in compliant with that?
So you have to carry one of those hand scales, right?
You do. You just weigh them. Okay.
So I actually had a discussion with the game warden about a couple of game wardens about this. And 10 pounds is not technically 10 pounds when it comes to squid because there's water weight.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got a bucket. So my discussion with multiple game wardens, they said that they'll give you about a pound leeway towards your bucket in the water. So you could get about 11 pounds total weight. And that's about 10 pounds.
Yeah. And speaking of regs, is there a season for it, or can you do it year round?
It's a year-round sport.
Year round?
Yeah.
Cool.
You need a shellfish license.
Okay.
Yeah, the other day somebody messaged me as he was buying his license. He was about to buy a saltwater license, but that doesn't cover squid. It's considered shellfish.
Shellfish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you put them in water while you're fishing?
I don't. So these things, some people put them in water, trying to keep them alive and fresh and whatnot. But I find that you just put them in the bucket. Eventually, they'll die because they're out of oxygen, right? But they'll stay fresh overnight.
Okay.
I just go straight home and put it in the refrigerator.
Okay. So if you don't have time to clean them, you can pop them in the fridge and deal with them tomorrow? Or do you need to clean them?
No, you don't need to clean them.
Okay.
I never clean them the night after I'm done fishing. I'm going straight to bed.
So how long, like when you go fishing at night, what's the schedule that you typically go?
So during the summertime, when we were going in June, the sun was setting around 10:30 at the pier. If you're in the water, sunsets a little later, right? So 10:30, and then because we got to work in the morning, maybe an hour, fishing hour or
so it's
something.
quick.
Yeah, but as the sun goes down earlier now and later, right? Then we get a few more hours of fishing, right? So I like to be out there. If I go out there, I like to be out there at least 2-3 hours. Part of it is also waiting for the squid to come in. You can't just go out there and expect to catch bunch, within an hour and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Okay. And then are there any tide or weather implications to when you might think is better squidding or not as good?
People will tell you there is.
Yeah.
But I found that it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I've caught a lot of squid during low tide. I caught a lot of squid in high tide. People will tell you full moon, half moon, or crescent moon. Doesn't matter. Yeah, just go out there. If they're there, they're there. If they're not, they're not.
Yeah.
No one really knows how they behave. If they tell you they do, they're full of something.
I heard a rumor through your Facebook group that you do potlucks.
Oh, yeah. So,
is this like a tradition thing that you do often, or?
So it started a couple years ago, because sometimes I do post how I eat squid, because a lot of people ask, how do you eat squid? But, I posted in one video because one of the best way I like eating squid is just fry panning them with butter. And people are like, oh, you gotta cook that for us. You gotta let us try it once. So I actually brought like the burner and fry pan and everything. And I cooked it on the pier and everybody loved it. And then people, had an idea of, why don't we just have a potluck?
That's fun.
So a group of people. So first time we went out there, I ended up cooking because we had a really good week. So I ended up cooking like 30 pounds of squid and everybody loved it. And then from then people were like, hey, can we have another potluck again and stuff like that? last year, because I didn't want to organize it, right? I don't want to be the one that's organizing too much because I want to fish, right? So I've had helps from other people I met. They tend to organize it, but they still want me to announce it on the page because like a lot of people don't want attention, right? So I just post it in the group, and if people show up, everyone's welcome. But a lot of people show up with all sorts of food, and we're having fun.
Super fun.
Well, the question is, when's the next one?
Yeah.
I didn't schedule any of these potlucks this year. I just get a phone call or a text saying, hey, we're having a potluck next whatever day or whatever, and then I just post it.
Okay, well, when the next one happens, someone let us know in the comments. We're going.
Yeah. So I'll be posting. I mean, I tell people just keep looking in the group. I did post the last two, right? So
that's so cool. I love that you guys do that. So you said pan frying is your favorite way in butter.
Yes.
Ethan?
Yes.
Any other ways that you also like or other people recommend?
Oh, second favorite is I like to dehydrate them.
Ooh,
like a jerky.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you might find a video in my group still because people ask, how to do it and etc. So it's super easy. You just clean them. They're already naturally salted, right?
Yeah.
So you could just add other flavors if you want. Like sometimes I like to put chili flakes on there. And then I have a dehydrator from Caballas I bought a few years ago. I just pop it in there for 6 to 8 hours and you're done.
Huh. Never would have thought to dehydrate.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
but squid is so versatile, right? I mean, we've all eaten calamari.
Yeah.
I've done calamari at my house. The only thing is just oil just pops everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So, spaghetti, you put it in spaghetti, make seafood Mariano or whatever. So, and then eat it raw. So a lot of people like to eat it raw, like sashimi style.
Yeah. Okay, if I'm gonna sashimi it, how do you clean them? Like my first squid, what do I do?
Yeah.
So the easiest way to do is stick a knife. So the squid is like a tube in the leg, right? So you want to stick a knife in the tube and then you cut it straight up. And then what it does is it'll make like a Christmas tree. You'll open up like looking like a Christmas tree, and then you'll have the intestines and the legs and the attached. Grab the legs and just pull it up, and then clean whatever the small amount of guts left. Just scrape it off and skin them. So you just break the skin a little bit and you can peel them off. Right?
Okay.
And then some people eat the eyes, which I don't. I think it's gross. So you cut across the eye and pop it out, and then there's a beak, and then the way you get the beak out is you pop a zit,
Pop it out.
Yeah, pop it out, and that's it. Yeah.
Cool.
There's a video. There's a video by one of the members, Tintin, in there. A few weeks ago, what he did was he started catching them, and he started cleaning them at the pier, and then he bought some sauce that he made, and people were just eating it raw right there.
Nice.
I am gonna find these videos.
Yeah.
Guys,
how long?
And I'll link them all.
So how long does it take you to clean 10 pounds of squid?
Yeah.
Cleaning takes longer than catching.
Yeah.
It's a back-breaking work.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, if I don't catch a lot, I just give it to other people who want squid. They try hard and they didn't catch much. Just give them a little taste by giving them some. So I don't like cleaning them. That's for sure.
Do you ever use them for bait for other fish?
Yes. So you guys go crabbing?
Yes.
Is one of the best crabbing bait.
Oh, wow.
So one thing, obviously, if you have access of squid, you could use it as bait, but you want to eat it, right?
Yeah.
So when you actually clean them, this is one of my tricks. When you clean them, get one of those water bottles. If you get the smaller water bottle, and when you clean out the guts and cut out the parts, just put them in there and freeze it. And then when you go crabbing in your crab cage, poke a hole, bunch of them, and you'll slowly release the scent. So squid is actually one of their natural food source. When they mate and they die, they just eat them up, right?
Squid sickle.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah.
Huh.
So use that for that, and also it's great for halibut.
We buy a lot of squid for halibut.
I buy a lot of squid. Yeah.
They do well for those, and lingcod as well, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever go try and target them during the day from the pier?
Yes. So several years ago, I got my limit during the daytime over there, but most recently I was pink fishing off the pier 3-4 weeks ago, and around 6 p.m., we're in your wearing shorts and t-shirt and sunglasses.
Mhm.
I ended up catching about 5 pounds. It was good action for a little bit. So it's not normal or not high percentage to catch during the daytime in Edmonds, but there are some out there.
And you said you were pink fishing, so I'm assuming you were using
Pink
different
salmon.
jigs.
Yeah, I carry 2 rods, right? So
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So once you knew they were in, you just
Yeah.
switched. Okay.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
what we did.
what?
Yeah, I have a raw video of it. I gotta upload it to my YouTube channel to have people. Yeah, some people like the raw video because you see the continuation of the action instead of the short video where it may show the highlights of it. Yeah.
Sure.
Super cool.
All right.
I had a question from somebody in your community. Any piers or locations on shore that someone can go fish north of Edmonds that you're aware of?
I've heard people catching up north, but mostly off the boat.
Okay.
But I'm sure there's squid up there, but I don't think the location and where the pier is produces a lot of squid. It's maybe worth trying, but I don't think there is a good spot up there. That's why most people drive all the way down.
Yeah.
Some people drive down from Bellingham
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, we've talked about it up here, and we've talked with friends, and they're like, "Oh, I think you could get them around Orcas Island and some places," but we've never been able to identify a good spot up here that has been, productive.
Yeah, I'm sure you could probably find them in the deeper water, but I don't know about any piers up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Yeah.
And then etiquette. Is there a etiquette when you're on the pier?
So obviously there's a saying you want to treat other people like you want to be treated, but I think you want to treat other people like how they want to be treated, right? So make sure if there's a tight space, just ask, can I squeeze in here? Can I fish next to you? If the space is tight, if you're new, just let the person next to you know that you're new and you're working on it so that their expectation of you next to you is, because you might tangle people, right? Because you may not be able to throw straight. So long as you are communicating and you're trying, I think most of the people are nice about it. There are some people that think they own the pier and they don't want to be bothered. There are some people still like that, but we're trying to change the culture around the pier where most people are friendly, understanding. I mean, I'm sure people may get frustrated here and there, but as you communicate what your intention is, I think most people are nice about it.
So when you say tight spaces, what would you define as like too close to somebody?
Yeah, so right now there's plenty of space, so you won't be rubbing on each other.
So physical touch is not good.
If there's
No.
space.
But you'll get to that.
Really?
You
It'll
will
get
get
that
to that
crowded.
in the wintertime.
Crazy.
So, if you could squeeze your body in without touching the, person on your left or right, should be good. But there are times where it's like, it's kind of like 80, 90%. You just ask them, hey, can you scoot over a little bit? Some mean people will say no. Nice people will say, yeah, there's plenty of room, we'll squeeze you in and stuff like that. But during the wintertime, yes, you'll be going shoulder to shoulder, literally.
Is there a day or a holiday that's like a annual squidding tradition that everybody shows up, like Christmas night or Christmas Eve or Thanksgiving or?
It's gonna be every day.
Is that right?
It's amazing how
Yeah.
many people show up every day. So as soon as people hear the rumor of the winter squids are in October, it's literally shoulder to shoulder every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you get your limit multiple days in a row, can you freeze them? Do they keep well in the freezer?
Yeah. So what you want to do is you want to freeze them in a bag with all the juices that comes along with your bucket. So that seems to preserve them longer. So I've seen people preserve these for several years. And they should be still good. I mean, obviously the store-bought ones are like 5 to 6 years, or you don't know how old those things are. But usually, I recommend people just heat them up as soon as possible because once you freeze it, you lose flavor. But even if these things are frozen, they're so fresh, they're still good. But what I tell people, don't eat it if it's over a year. Just use it as bait.
Yeah.
You'll
And do you freeze
catch it.
them whole?
Are you?
Yeah. Don't clean them.
Vacuum
Don't clean
sealing,
'em.
vacuum
Okay.
sealing or not?
Yeah. So if you don't clean them, they'll go longer. If you clean them, they don't go as long.
Mm.
Yeah. That's what I've seen.
Okay. Actually, are you vacuum sealing them or not, or just in a plastic bag?
No vacuum seal.
Yeah.
A lot of people use Ziploc bags.
Just
Okay.
Ziploc bag,
Yeah,
freezer
I
bag.
use those produce bags.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
you know, you get it from the store and you bring them home. I just use it as a recycle instead of throwing it
Okay.
away. Yeah.
Is there anything we forgot to ask that you think would be good for your listeners or community to know?
Like I mentioned, you know, we try to change the culture around the pier because there's fights. People are fighting for the spots and people are fighting because your line tangles my line. And there are people that steals equipment over there because it's dark, you're not paying attention. But we're trying to change that culture, make everybody friendly, help each other out. So basically the message is, you know, just be nice, be understanding. I mean, you don't need that much squid. Just have fun, you know.
Yeah, that's what it's all
Catch,
about.
Yeah. Have fun. Play nice and have fun.
yeah. So I think people that tends to go to have fun and just because you're just, you know, everybody has their whatever going on in their day and you're going over there, you know, you don't want to think about anything and you just want to just relax and have fun. Last thing you want to do is you want to scream at the guy next to you, right? So yeah, just have fun.
And if people want to buy your jigs, where
Mhm.
can they find you?
Well, I have an Amazon store. It's called Washington Tackle and Fishing.
Cool.
So if you Google or go on Amazon and search for a squid jig, mine will come up within, you know, 7 of the listings. So you could buy it there, or, you know, I'm on the pier fishing a lot. So you could buy it out, you know, in person if you want to take a look at it. And also, if you don't have time, you could always message me on the Facebook. So a lot of people do that as well.
Perfect. We'll make sure to link the Amazon shop down below here for you guys as well. So these are super cool. I'm excited to catch my first squid on one of these. So we have a tradition on this podcast
Uh-oh.
that the previous guest leaves a question for the next guest, not knowing who the guest is or anything. So there's a question that has been left for you. And that question is, what is the thing that you want to be remembered for?
Whoa.
Oh, far as, like in a fishing.
However you want to interpret that. That was
That's
the question
fun part.
she gave me.
Well, I think I want to be remembered as someone who enjoyed their life, right? So life is short. Have fun, you know, go do something fun, you know. So I want to be remembered as someone who had a lot of fun and enjoyed their time here. Yeah.
Love that. Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. Any final words before we sign off today?
No, thank you for having me. And, you know, just go out there and have fun. I know it could be intimidating with a lot of people out there. Seems like people are cliques and stuff like that. But most people are out there, you could hear them laughing and having a good time. You know, not everyone is an extrovert. I'm an introvert myself, super introvert.
Same.
But, you know, just go out there and just, if you have small, you know, talks with them, they'll, you know, everyone wants to help you out because they all think they're expert, right? So just, you know, don't be shy, ask for help, and, you know, just have fun out there.
I'm excited.
Fun.
Yeah. And it's, you know, it is intimidating. It's like when you go to the gym for the first time and you see all the people with the weights and you're like, oh man, I don't know how to use the machine or whatever. It's the same kind of thing with fishing. That first time is always the most intimidating, but then you catch your first one and you're hooked. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. Thank you so much for giving us the inspiration to go give it a try and a little bit more knowledge about what we need to be successful the first time we go out. So thank you so much for your time.
No
Appreciate
worries.
it.
Come join us one day.
We will. We're going to the potluck.
We'll see you on the pier.
Whoever
go.
does the potlucks, get one going.
Yeah.
All right. We'll
All right.
catch you guys on Fishing for a Reason. Same time, same place, same channel next week. We'll see you there. Bye,
Yeah.
everybody.
See ya. Thanks, Joe.
Bye-bye.